That's that taken care of. Right, I'll start from the beginning. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to our Wednesday webinar. Really exciting today to see all the recognition. Although we did it last week, it's really exciting to see it all again. And I just want to say once again, well done, 18 Rhino Group. You're absolutely amazing, actually. I just thought, to read this, let me see, because Michael knows that it's a team. Can you read that? Lynn McDonald and team. It's team. It's all about team. And we know that. I don't know why I'm emphasising that. Because you know that's how I feel. But I just wanted to congratulate you once again. Tonight we're going back to basics. There are a lot of new people getting started. I know the lockdown is slightly different everywhere. We were just discussing that briefly before I put the record button on. But on the whole, I feel that most people are sticking to their plan. And as long as we follow the government guidelines and, make sure everything's sanitized and act safely, with the catalogue side of the business, we can continue to work the business. But again, it's a personal choice. And so tonight we're back to the basics for the new people. How to build a catalogue customer base from scratch. And Jane White's going to be doing the training tonight. So what I'm going to do, Jane, is I'm going to pass host to you. You need to keep an eye on the people who want to come in late. And I'm just waiting on my laptop. Let me see the participants. Jane. Make host. And I'm going to pass over to Jane, who's going to cover a basic how to get started, how to build a catalogue customer base if you're brand new getting started, or if you're just wanting to teach somebody. This is a really fabulous training.
Thanks, Lynn, and thanks for asking me tonight to do the training. I know all of you are seasoned cataloguers, which always makes me feel a wee bit like an interloper, but nevertheless, I think what it's good to remind me as well is how to teach it, because it's a network marketing company and it's all about a lot of people all doing a little. And let's all face it, there's nothing nicer than seeing people, both yourself and in your business, making money. And the way we do that is, of course, through the retail. So I'll very quickly get myself organised here. And got a very funny feeling, oops, that I'm in the wrong screen, but I'm current slide, here we go. Okay, so how to build a strong customer base. Well, it's all about collection of orders.
Hold on a second, Jane, I don't see the screen.
Oh, right, okay, sorry.
That's all right.
I'll just flick through it, shut it down, and I haven't shared the screen, you're quite right.
You see, the technical hitches are not exclusive to Lynn McDonald.
No, it's just...
most of the time they are.
Just the way it is.
Great.
Now I've got it in the wrong bit. Sorry.
Don't panic. We can edit.
There we go. Sorry about that. So, how to build a strong catalogue customer base, because really what you're looking for is a catalogue base that will last you for years and years and years, that you'll add to or subtract from depending on how big you want it, and obviously the age of your customers comes into it as well. So really what we want to say to our new people when we're looking at it, they've registered with Viva NK. The catalogues will arrive in 2 working days. And what we want to do then is sponsor, email the messages or the templates that we use for a retail to a new person. We always suggest to them that they put the templates into a folder in their PC so that they're readily available for them for whenever they need them. I always check with people that they have sufficient knowledge, that they know how to add their name, their numbers, and any other details to those templates, because I have had in the past people who have said, yes, I've got them, and then you discover they've not done anything with them because they don't know how. So it's always worthwhile checking. Tell them too to print out their weekly planner so that when you're doing either a Zoom or purely a call with them, you can have a weekly planner in front of you and be able to see how they're working out their planner, because there may well be things that you can suggest that the new person hasn't thought of. And it's also worthwhile jotting down what their week looks like. So ask them to amend the callbacks for the front of their catalogues, the thank you for your order, the sorry I missed you. They only have to add their name, their contact number, and the online shop details. Even if they're not interested in doing a lot of online and prefer to do mostly catalogues, it's still worthwhile getting that shop set up so that they can see how it works out for them. Let them know how many callbacks, thank you for your order, sorry I missed you, they'll need for the first week. It's often easy not to know those things. If you think back to our first day, I didn't know any of it and it all takes time. And let's face it, they're going to be busier than they were before they got the catalogues. So if you can take some of the busyness away from them, I always think that's worthwhile. And of course, here is the weekly planner. And it is just a case of putting in the commitments that they have, the meetings. Now, we don't meet in person at the moment. That may change, it may not, but we don't meet in person at the moment, but we do still have weekly meetings that we can come to. And then it's the retail plan. Make sure that if it's someone with children, they put in all the little things, all the inconsequential things that they forget that they have to do, but are really important because often they're time consuming. Before they complete that weekly planner, they want to decide how much time they want to invest and how much money they want to earn. Sometimes this is a wee bit of a reality shock. Just a wee check though, to make sure that they know that it is time that they need at the beginning if they want to earn money. Make a list of people you know and prepare to hand the catalogue to. Make a plan and stick to it. Don't procrastinate. It's so easy to think things through and then just think it through again and maybe do it a third time just to be sure. So try and suggest to the new people that you know what you're talking about, and all they need to do is follow the system, not your system, it's the system, and it's a very, very good one. So there's the detailing slips that we use. We have changed the bottom of the callback somewhat, but it's an old slip and it's a slide that I never noticed until, of course, you come to put it on here. But we do use thank you for your order, because then we find that people will phone us if they're not going to be in on Thursday evening. It also means, though, that if I don't go on Thursday evening, I always have a lot of phone calls to do to apologise and let them know I will be on Friday. We collect catalogues on Monday. Now we only do them once a week. So we collect on a Monday and we do the stragglers on a Tuesday, which is what our slips suggest. Excuse me. There's two ways that we can do catalogues. Posting is just popping them through the letter boxes, just like the postman. And you do have to deliver higher numbers of catalogues, and approximately 1 in 10 people will buy. Although in some streets, that average, remember an average is an average over a bigger area and a bigger number of catalogues. I have streets where I don't drop a catalogue now because no one in that street continued buying from me. Why? I'm not terribly sure why, but I just go on, and every so often I blanket drop it just in case new people have moved in. So an average is an average over a number of streets and a number of catalogues. And that's important to point out too. Placing is just knocking on the door. We placed catalogues when we first started. Remember to hold your hand out. The reason we placed catalogues was because we didn't have a computer. We certainly didn't have a printer, so we didn't quickly be able to get slips. So we had to knock the door so we could tell people when we were coming back, or else we would never have been able to get catalogues back. So just knock the door, and if you want to, hold your arm out and say, hi, I'm delivering a Viva MK catalogue. I'm collecting it on Monday. Would you like a look, or can I leave it for a look? I don't always ask would. I say can I leave it so you can have a look at it? I'll see you on Monday. That's always my parting shot. Even although it says on the book, I still make that my parting shot. If you're going to an area that's not as highly populated, maybe if you do farms or if it's only a very small community, then I would suggest that you knock on doors. It's easier to get those catalogues back. And I don't know about you, but Jim complains greatly if he has to go 2 miles up a farm road, bouncing all over the place to get a catalogue that isn't on the doorstep and we have to go back for. So I find that it's good for marital relationships just to be able to knock on that door and ask them if I can leave it. If you're placing the catalogue, though, the return per catalogue collected will be higher than if you're just popping them through letter boxes, because you're leaving them with people who have actually said that they'll take them. Oops. Some of the pros and cons. Well, if you're posting catalogues, you can actually do it any time it suits you, daytime or evening. And all of the people in the house may pick that catalogue up and look at it, but there will be more stragglers to collect until you give them a catalogue for the second or perhaps third time. With placing, you do have fewer stragglers. People tend to remember to either leave the catalogue out or at least answer the door with the catalogue in their hand. But do remember, when you're putting the catalogue in, it may well be someone who is not a catalogue buyer and doesn't want that catalogue, but they may have a partner or a parent in the house who does want that catalogue. You have to decide what's best for you. And you are restricted in times you deliver. Maybe not just now. Now is a good time to deliver catalogues during the day, even knocking on doors. Just remember, I like to wear a mask. I know I'm outdoors when I'm placing those catalogues. I'm fully aware of that. But I feel that to show the person in the house that I do respect their privacy, and I'm aware that I don't want to pass any bugs, if I have any, on to them. And I can also say to them at the time, new bags, catalogues are sanitised, whatever you choose to do. And you should, of course, remember to keep yourself safe by, once you collect those catalogues, be able to leave them for 2 or 3 days before you touch them and pop them back out again. You might want to have more than one set of catalogues for rotation. The new person will probably already be busy. We were really busy when we first started, but we were about to get busier, because without getting busier, the business just didn't work. But if you use the planner and show your new person how to use that planner efficiently, then it will help a lot. It can be juggled, it can be amended, but not just for the rain. I know we get a lot of rain, and I think England's been even worse than we have lately. So, you know, weather is not a reason for amending your planner. As I said earlier, remember to include all the little things in your life, and then you look for pockets of time. And sponsors do have the experience to show new people where and how it can all be fitted in. And as I said earlier, if you want it to work, then you have to work it. And here is it's a planner that we worked, putting out on a Friday, collecting on a Monday, putting out on a Tuesday and collecting in again on a Thursday. Stragglers on a Tuesday and a Friday. We put our order through, and we still do, creatures of habit. We put our order through on a Tuesday evening, it gets delivered on a Thursday, we make it up and we take it out. That was what suited us. That doesn't suit everybody, I'm fully aware. So juggle it to suit whatever each individual needs. Once you've got your planner completed though, you're able to tell what slips you need to print out for callbacks and for stragglers. You'll need to know, you'll already need, or you'll already know the number, I beg your pardon, how many slips you'll need as well, because you know to collect and deliver. Where are you going to deliver? Well, as close to home as possible. Use a map of the area. We use them online now. We tend not to use paper ones, but get a good map of the area. It will show you how many houses in one street, as well as knowing what's around the corner. It's not difficult to do, and it's easy to help. But close to home is best, and you can get all of that sorted out before the catalogues are even there, and it lets people get up and running nice and quickly. We work a 5-week cycle. I know many people work 4, we tend to work 5 weeks and go back to the beginning again on week 6. We don't work 5 areas, we work 5 different lots of streets. I used to say we work 5 different areas, but we don't, because then we found that new people thought, all right, so I'll work in one area one week and then I could go 2 miles away and work another area. So I found that my communication was missing out there. But work logically down one side of the street, cross the road, work the other, turn the corner, down the next street. You only miss out empty houses. That was the beauty. We started September, October time, it was dark. And that was one of the nice things about delivering in the dark. 1, no one could see you, which I was quite happy about. And 2, you could find out very quickly if houses were empty. No lights on. A lot of people leave lights on now, maybe a glow light so that they can see to come home. But Also, you can have a better look at a house that doesn't have a light to discover if there's maybe things missing that are not normally missing from a house that's occupied. But you'll cover several streets with every drop. Again, find out how many houses are in a street, and that way you'll know how many streets you have to do. So now you know where you're going to go. It's all taking shape and falling into place. You'll need a notebook, date at the top of the page, street name underneath, and then the house numbers. You can get what someone once told me was a round book. And I thought, gosh, I only ever have seen square books, and took that with me for a long, long time and couldn't quite understand what this round book was that they were all talking about. It lets you see I had never done anything like this, so it was totally alien to me. And we have to remember that when we're first speaking to new people. We ordered a stamp and stamped all of our order forms, stamped our catalogue, stamped all of that with our name and our distributor number. And we also put the address on it because we found that it was quite important to a lot of people that we were local. They tended to buy from local people before they would buy from someone who had travelled much further. I've already said about stamping order forms, catalogues, and try to encourage your new person to prepare the catalogues the day before they want to deliver. Again, this is something that I certainly did. I made most of the mistakes. That's why I can tell you about them. But preparing the catalogues the same night as you want to deliver them, after having worked all day at work and maybe not get home till 6:30, probably not a good idea. It takes a wee while to put catalogues together. Make them all look the same so that you can see at a glance when you collect them if they've been looked at. We put the callback to the front of the catalogue. Then we have a seasonal catalogue in the maid book facing forward, and the beauty book and the order form to the back. Always pretty pictures, order form able to be seen nicely so that people wouldn't have to search for it, or maybe even write your orders. I don't know if you'll see that, but this lady has written her order on the back of my callback slip. There was an order form in the book and it was at the back of the catalogue, but you know, who knows? It was an order and I was grateful for that. So again, we've spoken about the map. There aren't so many catalogue companies about nowadays, but if there are, just ignore them. Don't worry about it. You're delivering your catalogue, and I think it's a case of wearing blinkers often. Your job that night is to get rid of those catalogues. That's what you want to do. However you plan to do, your job is to get rid of them. So wear blinkers. I totally agreed with that. I wanted to do that street, and that was what I was going to do. I didn't want to change in the middle of it, because that meant that I then had to go back to the beginning again. And I didn't want to do that. I didn't have enough time. Keep good records. It's so important for your new person. It is much simpler just to run round the doors and pick catalogues up. And it's not until you've done that that you think, where have I been? Did I pick that one up? Well, that door looks familiar. Jot it. Make sure you're completing your notebook as the new person's going along. It makes a huge difference to your customer base. Don't use pieces of paper. Suggest they don't use pieces of paper anyway. I did. It had been suggested to me. I still used pieces of paper until one night, as I was getting more catalogues out of the boot, or putting catalogues in, I think, I laid the piece of paper down, the ones I had already noted and the ones I still had to do. at which point the wind caught the piece of paper, blew it into a puddle, and I had a problem. I was a most upset person. Now you'll notice I don't mention Jim here. That's because he worked back shift every second week and I was on my own. Those things tended not to happen if Jim was there, because he used to nag at me to do it properly rather than do it kind of haphazardly. Again, you've got all of that information on the book, in your notebook, and just keep delivering until you've completed your plan. What do you need when you go back? Well, 2 or 3 pens or pencils. You know yourself, if you drop a pen, it won't write. So then if you don't have another one, we're getting a bit of difficulty there too. A smile, regardless of the weather, and a towel. One chap said to me after he had gone out and collected his catalogues, "Thank goodness you told me to take a towel. It was so wet I had to dry my hair." At which point I thought, should have said to him, the towel's not for you. The towel was for your catalogues so they wouldn't get ruined. Sorry I missed your slip, and thank you for your order. So that when you pick the catalogue up, you can pop them through the letterbox. Record against the numbers you're collecting, looked at, not looked at, order, don't deliver again, or didn't manage to get the book. That's so you know where to go back for your stragglers. And if you've perhaps not noticed that an order form doesn't have a name and address on it, you have a fighting chance of finding it when you look at your notebook and see that there's an O against a number that you don't have an order for. Some books will be in the doorstep, and that will vary from area to area. We used to be able really to say 75% of the catalogues would be in the doorstep, whilst Lynn used to say, no, 50% maximum. And I thought, gosh, she's obviously not telling them properly. But it does vary from area to area. If not, and you've got time and you're comfortable doing it, knock the door and say, "Hi there, I'm here to collect the Viva MK catalogue." And I often keep one catalogue in my hand so I can show them what they're about to look for. Check every order form, really just for a name and address if they have an order, and record it in your book. And as we said, it does take a bit of extra time, but it does truly save hours in the future. Slip every house that you get an order. If you don't collect the catalogue, let them know that you will be back. If possible, go back the following day for any stragglers and record your numbers on the retail tracker. More importantly, now to record those numbers, because of course, £671 of orders every 4 weeks gets you into the VIP club. So if you want to be in that VIP club, then here's the way to find out that you'll get it. After 5 weeks of delivering, as we said, we return to where we started. If people have said no thank you, don't look at the catalogue, or we've just not managed to get a catalogue back, then we tended not to go to those doors. Some people will go to a door where they haven't had a catalogue. It may be that somebody's just been on holiday, and to be fair, we've got 2 catalogues back often if we have delivered a second time. But we keep continuing with this cycle for a total of 4 times. And by then, you're only delivering to the people who have actually ordered from you. And then you move on, you push them all together so that you have catalogues, the same number of catalogues perhaps going out, but over a higher number of streets, and moving on to another street to blanket drop it, to build up until you're happy with the level of retail that you are collecting every 4 weeks. Be aware though, someone who's ordered once may only order once. Give them the book 4 or 5 times and then you just gradually work your way through what has been your first lot of customers until you reduce or whittle out the number of people who will only order once from you. So it's just really a case of working that system over and over and over again. Be reliable, go back when you said you would go back to collect catalogue. Be consistent and regular. People become used to you. They know when you're coming back. Consumable products, they know when they'll be able to order it from you again. Be dependable with good customer service, refund, replace. And if you're in doubt, when a new person starts, speak to your sponsor, the person who introduced you, and they'll be more than happy to help you. They have a vested interest in your business. Make sure always your name and number is in all of your slips, order forms, and any consumable products, so that if you aren't there, or if the customer has perhaps given you the catalogue back without an order, they can give you a phone to let you know what they're needing. Close gates, don't walk on lawns, don't take shortcuts, don't jump hedges. That has been done. And remember, from the great Jim Rohn, success is neither magical nor mysterious. Success is a natural consequence of consistently applying basic fundamentals, which is what our system is. Thank you very much.
Excellent. Well done, Jane.
Sorry if it's been a bit
Excellent
long.
tuning there. Just what are you saying sorry for? What are you like?
Wait, I'll give you.
Brilliant training there. It's just getting back to the basics, how to build a strong customer base. What I will say is there are, just wanted to make sure that nobody was wanting in the room, but it was Jane giving me a host back there. There are different ways of doing it. Jane, I'll use Jane as an example and just quickly recognise her again on Achieving Premier. Jane, and I'm going to just talk about that in a different ways. Achieving Premier, Jane successfully teaches people how to do that £1,000 a period with their catalogues, with a similar training that you've seen there. It's part of the system, and that's the way that Jane chooses to do it. But then we swing over to Janet.
That's right.
Who did it in a different way, Janet? Do you want to take your mic off and chat to us?
Sorry, I lost you a bit then, Lynn.
I was just talking about the different ways. I mean, Jane just did the retail training on, basically that's a training on how to teach a new person how to get a minimum of £1,000 a period. And she went to Premier, where a few people get into £1,000 a period. And what I was saying is, when you lost me, is there's other ways you get into Premier. I know you did it with team, but you also did enough personal retail as well, because when I said over to you. She's obviously very tired because she's pounding the streets because her goals are bigger for this period than for the last period.
Well, the thing is, I got the email today on the how much we'd earned.
Yeah.
And I was going to say, the retail profit alone was £1,371.68. The volume profit was £457.16. Then we got a status bonus, and the total earnings are £1,878.84.
I
don't think that's bad.
That's not bad.
It could be better.
Let's go.
And I've actually sent Michael a message, because looking at the pay plan, the status bonus, he's put down £50, and I think it should be 100.
He's
for
got
hitting
them all wrong.
Premier.
He's got mine wrong as well this period. It should be 100. It should be 100. Jane, check your bonus. Make sure it's 100. First time premiers. Andy's known tonight. Kate knows to check. It should be 100 first time bonus.
Yeah.
Mine was wrong as well.
I thought it was 50 for first time.
No, email them. It should be 100 the first time, and then it's 50 for retaining it.
Yeah.
And at my level, it was 150 and 75 for retaining it. And I only got my 75. So my email's already sent.
Yeah, well, I've messaged him.
I did two things. I checked the pay plan and then I emailed them.
Well, I took a picture of that part of the pay plan and the bit of the commission thing and just sent it both together.
I do genuinely think that seems to be a computer error. That does seem to be a computer error, because they've never done that before, ever.
I don't like to count my chickens too much, but we'll probably find out on Friday that there's a good chance we might have hit that £200 incentive as well for the retail. So if that is the case, that figure is going to go skyrocketing over 2,000 for 4 weeks work.
Without that, if you add on your other 50 quid, it's over £1,900. Well done. Well done.
So, and Team Evolution are already on £1,820.
On this period, and week 1 is woohoo!
Oh, well done, Team Evolution.
Well done, Team Evolution. Well done, Janet and Steve. And well done. There's something I was thinking when you were saying that, and it has to come back to me. That's a phenomenal income. Somebody take the floor till my thoughts come back to me, because I was going to point something out and I forgot what it is. Kate, you've got a team that's really mixed, so you're a good person to pick on while I get my thoughts back together, because Kate's Premier. Kate always says she does high retail by accident. So she's not aiming for it, but just with the online side. And also, I don't think she'll mind me saying, a long-term customer base that came through the other business that you've really looked after throughout the lockdown. Your business is pretty much 50-50 online and catalogues. Is there anything you want to say while I gather my thoughts?
I would say that as with everything we do in the business, I think communication is absolutely key. It's underestimated a lot of the time. We use a newsletter for the customers. We started that just before the end of Clean Easy. We're so glad we did, because when we started going back to our customers with Viva, the existing customers, they had absolutely no idea what had happened until we told them in the newsletter. Then the lockdown started. We phoned them all. We said, would you like a catalogue? The ones we had phone numbers for. Everybody did want a catalogue. Everybody knows what we're doing now. They know that they'll get sanitised catalogues. They know that we'll deliver safely. They know all the different ways they can pay. They know us. We know them. Really, we're still going back to customers that the very first round of catalogues that Tom did back in 1999 when we joined Clean Easy, and we've talked about this, and we know that back in those days we were both in our late 30s, so the customers that we had at that time were in their 50s, 60s, 70s, some of them. So 20 years on, some of them aren't with us anymore. So that's why we have to keep renewing the customer base, because some of the customers now that are buying from us for the first time generally are younger than us, which is it's a bit of a wake up call, really. But I think it is communication, really. The customers, if we look after the customers look after us.
Definitely.
So, we don't set out to do more than about 1,500 to 2,000 a month, but period 10 we did over 3,000. Period 11 it was 2,800. Just because people like what we've got. They don't want to be in the shops at the moment, but they trust us because they know the way we work. because we talk to them about it and we tell them about it, and that's, you know, absolutely key as far as I'm concerned. And I know Janet spends a lot of time on the doorstep talking to people as well, and that's one reason she's getting the results she's getting. I know for a fact it is, because she's nice and she makes time for people.
Yep. And just for the people, Kate, I don't know if you realise that even I realise that you talk quite quickly, especially when you're excited. You're like me, so I think the newsletter and the communication is a really key element for Kay's customer base. And that's a really excellent point that you made. The same goes for everybody out there who's successfully working a customer base, but Janet as well, definitely. There's a lot of things we miss out with you, Janet, because your numbers are so big that we forget to point out things that Kate just pointed out there, that you have looked after these customers for years and during the lockdown and spent time with them.
Yeah, but in fairness, we have just done a heck of a lot of blanket dropping.
I'm going on to that one next.
And we've done the Bernardo's thing this year, and we're already on about £650 worth. That's
brilliant.
Which we've never done it before. And I was going to say the customers are loving it. So yeah, brand new customers that have ordered just for charity, and not actually ordered anything for themselves.
Yep.
No, that's amazing. Just a quick recap, Janet, just for anybody who might watch this video later, new people, just to explain very briefly what the Bernardo's is, because I know we all know, but people watch these videos later on.
Right, well, I was going to say, there's a standard letter that you'll find in the official Viva group that you can actually put in with your catalogue packs, and all you have to do is get the customers to put charity against a few items of toys or makeup or whatever, and collect the money from them. And I've spoken to a really nice guy from Bernardo's, and we've got a reasonably local place for us to go and drop the stuff off to. And it's just a case of the toys are staying local to where we are, which again, that's good as far as the customers are concerned. They like to think that it's helping out people locally, but it's a great way of increasing Viva's sales as well. And I am going to look at when we finally get a total, when we sort of like finish with the letter, I'm going to donate most of my commission for that as well, and buy a load of stuff with the commission.
Oh, that's really kind of you. I know that Kate did that as well, but just for anybody who's watching, you don't have to donate your commission. That's really kind, and it's for a good cause. And at the end of the day, all the superstores do it. Every day I pass a big one for the animals. I pass another one for the food banks, and at Christmas time it's stuff for presents, as you say, not just toys. Makeup, gifts for older children as well.
This is the second year I've done it. Louise and our team brought up the idea with us last year, and we, you know, she did it as well, and we did it too. And we are doing it for Mission Christmas, which in our area is run by our local radio station, Glasgow Radio Clyde. And we registered with them last year as a supporter, and we kept in touch with them, and we dropped off. I think last year we did about £500 worth of donations last year. But the radio station actually phoned me today, and they said, you know, we're trying to get all our ducks in a row now with our contributors for this year. We want to know if we can rely on your support again. And I said, absolutely, I'm on it, completely on it. We've had £700 worth of donations so far from our customers this year. We did last year and will this year. We have said that we will put our commission from those toys into the fund as well, but this is just what the customers have donated before our donation as well. But what she said to me, what I said, at the moment I've got 5 boxes of toys, I've got a massive big bag of makeup as well for teenagers. And she said, I'm so glad you've said that. She said, because we hadn't thought about that until you did it last year. And she didn't have a lot of people contributing makeup or anything like that. So I'm really glad you're doing that, because the teenagers get left out. So she said for the girls, that's perfect. We can make up little gift bags for them. She says for the boys, it's a bit different. We're having to get vouchers, you know, like Amazon vouchers and different stuff for them because you don't have as much for them. But she was so pleased, and she agreed with me that there are going to be more people in the queue to actually receive gifts this year because people are having such a hard time just now. But it's overwhelming the amount of generosity that the customers are forwarding to us because they know that we're doing something that will make a difference in the local area. So, you know, I was so glad she'd phoned me today because I was going to contact her at the end of the month.
What a coincidence.
But delighted, sitting in Morrison's car park, and she phoned, and I thought, oh, this is great. And she was so relieved that somebody that had, you know, through the customers had given them such a great donation last year was able to do it again. And actually, we've got more. We've still got a month to go, and we've got a lot more than we had last year.
Oh, brilliant.
We've got 2 or 3 customers that have donated twice every time they've had a catalogue and are planning to donate again, you know, with our catalogue this period as well. And they've already said, make sure you remember me next month because I'm going to donate again.
I think there's more compassion at the minute because I think people are recognising there's more people in need, which is
absolutely, yeah, definitely.
really sad. But what we'll do is we will post that in the Rhino group, and you know, maybe Kate or Janet can follow up with some ideas or how they've been pursuing it. You don't have to give your commission. That is just a personal choice to do that. And it's very kind of you to do that, but it's fantastic. So what my threads were going, I was going through Jane's training in my mind. You know, I've got the Premier with the different levels. I've got the Premier on huge retail plus their team. Their amazing team's done great as well. Kate a bit 50-50. The other thing in Jane's training was talking about posting or placing. So you need to nudge Kevin because we're talking about placing. Hey, Kevin. Hi, Lisa. We were just going through the things and what we were going through Jane's training, and what the next part I came on to is placing. Because as you could see from the training that Jane did, the most common way that people choose is to post. And you guys just wanted to take you're on mute, by the way. And what we have to do with Kevin and Lisa's internet signal is really bad, so we're going to be really quiet because as long as we don't talk, there's excuse guys. I know you spoke about it last week, but these trainings are recorded and go out to new people. You chose to do placing not because you don't have many books, not because you live rurally. I'll pass it over to you and you can maybe chat about how you guys do it.
We always place our books. We find it works better for us, especially if you haven't got many catalogues. You can stretch them out, but our presenting is more detailed.
What we do is there's no script.
We don't do it.
I won't offer them the book until I've spoken to them first. How I treat an individual person depends on how they come to the door, how they're dressed, everything. It's the same I do with photography. You see, I sell myself, or at least sell myself,
and then the book.
And then the book. The book then comes in last minute, and I picked up today. Didn't get any orders, but I had 98% looked at, and I've only got 3 strikes. So that's a good one for me. I think the best we've done lately is 18 books presented and 80 customers straight away. We just find it a more efficient way of doing it. It depends.
We don't just say like when we go to the door, Kevin and Lisa or whoever, there's a Virenque book, would you like one? We always get in conversation of how their day is, don't we?
Yeah.
What the book can offer them. We also say what's in the book. From household, if it's seasonal, it's Christmas.
Yeah.
We go into more detail. We don't just go, here's the book. And then when we ask them to put them out, we always give them a time on our slip. Our day slip always has a time. as we mentioned to you before, and if you just put out Monday on a slip, well, they could put that out at 10 o'clock at night. That is still not a straggler. You always have to give time. I'd always say 9 o'clock in the morning. So we always tend to pick up like 11
If it says 9, I'll get them out by 12.
12. We never just put a day like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday,
It's always specific.
because they could come out from work at 6 o'clock and put your book out at 6. Well, they're not a straggler because you did not give them a time. So we always put a time on ours, don't we? We always say, like, when we go to, always make sure you put it out.
Yeah, like
Monday
Jane said,
at 9.
repeatedly afterwards, you point it out. The time they you know that they've got to put the book out on Tuesday or Wednesday or Thursday, whatever.
Yeah.
And that is the right way to do it. You've got to reinforce that message that this book needs coming out.
Yeah.
And then also when I go back, I take the chance to, when I pick up,
Would you like
if I get the chance to talk to them, I'll actually ask. I'll take note of whether it's been looked at or not, and ask them.
Would you like the book again?
Do you want me to drop it again?
And some will say yes, some will
and
say
some will
no.
say yes, and some will say no.
It saves you time.
And I'm after the no's really. Cut out the time wasters straight away.
We chase the no's. We always have.
So,
But I mean, we do exactly what Jane does. The only difference is we give a time on our slip, so they know put it out Monday at 9 o'clock. It's always 9 o'clock in the morning, and we do exactly what Jane does. The only difference is we just go to more chit chat with them.
I spend a lot more time talking to people. I get less books out.
Yeah.
But the return on those books, as an average, is extremely high.
Yeah.
You know, it's horses for courses. It depends on. Not everybody's going to stand and talk to people at the door.
But not everybody's in. The ones that are not in,
missing out.
We miss out. But then next time we go around and let her again, we'll knock on their door. The vast majority they're in again, aren't they? On the second time, third time round. So we always make a note.
And I had to note that I went round the other day, and there was more people out in the lockdown than there was in normal. So I don't quite know what's going on.
No, I don't know that. It was one of them, them streets, or just everyone out.
Them streets and nobody was in.
But no. But no, we do what Jane does. The only difference, we just go in more detail with the conversation. Don't we? We give a time when to put them out.
I sell it at the door.
Sell it. And we also tell them what's in the book, because most of the time that's what's in it. We always go like household beauty, seasonal. It's got everything you want, don't we?
Yeah, I'll often say it works on the same principle as Clean, Easy and Better Wear used to do. Can you remember those? Depending on the age of the person. And if it's a young person, we'll get into the conversation about how this is quite a new concept for them. And they catch on to this idea of catalogues, and it's quite amazing. We have got now younger customers slowly coming online.
We have had the odd one. What's saying, my mum and dad had a Clean Easy book. I know how it works, so I know to put it out. We've had one of them, haven't we?
Yeah. I don't tend to mention Clean Easy or Better Wear, just as if it's something from the past, not the present. And that way, you're sort of getting the Viva name straight in there, straight in front of them. And that's how we do it.
Excellent. Thank you very much.
I can't say anymore because there's not a lot else to say.
Choose to go out knocking on the doors, and that's the preferred way of doing it. But just for people who don't know, previous to this, Kevin was a photographer. And the wedding photographer, all these different, you'll see some amazing photos. The doors with that, and he's taken what he's learned from that experience and put it behind Viva. And I think I've seen one of your pickups was around about £17 a book. I might be wrong, but
it's sometimes it goes to. I mean, we haven't got a great deal of customers. Because I'm not doing big enough numbers. But we
kind of do ours gradually. We're not like go ballistic. We kind of like to do it gradually each time, don't we? That's how we do.
What is interesting is compared to when we've done Clean Easy in the past and done massive retail, and blanket drops, going back a long time, the retention rate of customers this way is much higher. So in other words, they if they buy once, they buy again and again and again, and they become good customers. Whereas you're hitting far less of the one-off customers, which is what you want. You want somebody to buy again and again and again. And so whether that's just the way it's working now, or whether it's because you're taking time to sift out straight away the time wasters, I don't know, but it works.
Probably about everything.
Works for us.
It works.
It's probably about everything. I would say it's more the customer relations. The customer relations is what the benefit Viva MK is, isn't it? And what I'm excited.
Yeah, make that customer your friend.
Yeah,
that's it.
Even if you don't like them.
They will never know it. Well done. Thanks. No. So I'm going to go now because that reminds, because there's lots of people blanket dropping as well to new places. I'm going to skip Janet and Kate for now and pick on Amanda and Nigel, although Nigel's leg, he's really gutted. He's got a bad leg. So we have to go back. We're talking about using blanket dropping, guys, as well as a small customer base. Anything you want to add? Can you hear me? You're on mute. You're on mute.
We're off mute now.
We're off. Hi, Lynn.
Hiya.
Blanket dropping. We've started back up again today. Blanket dropping. With Nigel's knee as it's been, we haven't been doing as much. But we're doing our customer base. We've got a good result from that this week. I think we put out about 60 customer books, and we got £800 worth of orders.
Wow!
So that was really good. But yeah, we've still got some stragglers coming in still from the books, the blanket drop books that we did do. We've had a phone call this evening, and a gentleman put an order through, and that was from a blanket drop book. So yeah.
How many customers do you have? Because it's not a massive customer base yet.
No. We've got about 350.
350 customers, and period 10 you retailed personally over 3,000.
Yeah.
And in last period that was just under 2,000, but halfway through Nigel did his knee in.
Yes.
So that was only half a period because of his knee. So 350 customers, the rest is blanket drop-in. So what I'm trying to show in this webinar tonight, you've got the success for like Kevin and Lisa doing the knocking on doors. We got the success for the blanket drop-in. We've got different premieres. So is the blanket drop-ins going well for you?
Yes. Well, before I just
for them because they've been off for them, not been working full pelt.
It swings around about 1 week. We won't have any orders at all. The next week on blanket drop, we might have like 3 or 4 a day. So it's consistent and persistent again, isn't it? Got to keep going at it, make a plan and going at it.
It's been persistent. But you were until your knee got jammed. Be careful with that knee. We don't want to damage it long term.
My knees are buggered anyway. I've done them when I was 18. So I used to be stonemason, you see, and it's not good in your joints. But what I can say is with cold booking and the customer base, the income from doing the blanket dropping is really good. But then if you have an injury, your income stops. That's the importance of having a big customer base. Not a customer base, a sponsoring people, getting a good team on the go. So if you become bad or anything, you can still teach your team what to do and still have an income from them. Which I had this back in the Clean Easy day. I retailed gold on my own, and I was going to maintain it. But at that, I hurt my back, and I couldn't do anything for quite a long time. And their income just plummeted because we only had 2 in that team then, didn't we?
Yeah.
So it's important to get a team on the go as well as getting your retail on the go as well.
Brilliant. That's an absolutely brilliant point, and I wasn't ignoring it, but I'm glad that you brought that up, because we do talk about the business as being like our own boat with two oars to go forward. One is retail, the other one's sponsor in order to go forward. And just now it's great that we're just taking advantage of getting the Viva MK name out there, doing loads of blanket drops, knocking on doors. We're getting the name out there. The numbers, the results are phenomenal for you guys. Janet, anything you want to say about blanket dropping? And anybody else has been doing blanket dropping? I've seen Fiona in my line. You're next.
Well, I was going to say, I'm going to agree with what Nigel's just said about getting team members to be able to sustain it, because if you do hurt yourself, you are snookered. But Steve and I actually did sponsor 3 people last period. So it is a case of we are doing everything. But there were 64 new customers last period, and we're on 16 already this period.
Excellent.
So it is a case of I've not gone to any different houses this period to what I did last, other than I've dropped a load where I didn't get the catalogues back. But the straggler rate has gone down enormously, thank goodness.
So that was in lockdown.
Yeah.
It's in lockdown where you guys are than up here in Scotland, I think.
But it is a case of the more you do, the more you'll get. And I'm going to bring Jeff into the conversation here. So he's going to have to take himself off mute. But it's not always a case of the more you do, the more you get. It's a case of being in the right area, isn't it, Jeff?
Very much, very much. I really irks me when people say, if you want more, do more. I've been doing a lot, but I've been in a very poor area, and I wish, Jane, it was 1 in 10 would order. I've been blanket dropping and I've been not getting any orders at all. But when Janet and Steve came up to see us just before the lockdown, because of the roadworks in Hull, they got lost trying to find a cut through, and they came across a very interesting estate which had a mix of houses, semi-detached, detached, bungalows, all mixed in together. And Janet said, you ought to try there. So I've been there a couple of times, the second time today, but I put 110 out on Saturday to pick up on Monday. I got 5 orders on Monday, and I picked up another one up on Tuesday going back for stragglers. I've got £97.50 from 95 catalogues returned, which is over £1 a catalogue. If you look at catalogues delivered, it's 88p, but it's a huge amount. The round I did on the day after, which was locally to me, lots of terraced houses, nothing at all. A few people looked. This area that Janet found, it was about half and half, looked and not looked, and lots of orders. The area I went following that near me, lots of terrace houses, about 60 not looked, about 15 looked, no orders. And I've been doing that for the best part of the year in this area, because you work from home. I've just been working hard, but in the wrong area. And as Janet has told me, now we've found a good area, I'm going to work.
It's frozen. Your screen's frozen a little bit there. It's frozen me, but that's fantastic. What I will say, you're back. Your screen froze for a second there. That's fantastic, Jeff. Well done. What I will say is we do find that most areas do work, but maybe some nuts are going to be harder to crack because we're coming in with the new Viva. So I'm glad you found an area that's working better. Well done. Fantastic. Fiona, the reason I picked on you is because you're a busy wee mummy with juggling loads of different things. I'm not going to go into detail with all the different things that you're juggling, but last period, over £1,000. Well done. And a lot of blanket dropping there as well. Anything you want to add, darling?
Yeah, just like Jeff, we've got quite a tough crowd down here as well. We do a lot of blanket dropping, and you just got to see it as a game. It's all part of the deal, isn't it? Yeah, we put out 60 books on Saturday, and yeah, the positive is we've got one new customer, and it was a £25 order. But yeah, that's pretty much what can be around here at the moment. But you just go out and look at the positives. You know, if we've done a blanket drop and we've got a new customer, it was worth doing. You know, and if that customer stays with us for years, then, you know, I've got customers from my very first drop 16 years ago with Clean It Easy. And yeah, it might have taken me, you know, all day to find that one customer or whatever. But then if you look at what they've spent with me over the last 16 years, actually, I've been paid very well for that time. And I think you've got to look at the long game.
That's exactly as well. Which thank you for that, Fiona, because you just mentioned something there that, you know, I have one of these moments that I want to mention and I forget. That's the exciting thing. It isn't just there's a saying in this business that you work hard in the early stages for a little. Although, Janet, that's a brilliant check. You have worked hard for that.
Oh yeah.
You worked hard for that. There's no kidders on here. But once you've got, you know, in the latter stages, you work a little for a lot, because if you look after these customers, you know, as Fiona said there, they can become a customer for life. And it's all down to us and the relationship we build, whether it's the way Kevin and Lisa do it right for the minute they knock the door, or it's we build that relationship for when we're collecting the books, or Janet when she's doing her redemonstrations, or if it's online. It's been a lot of catalogues tonight, but to be fair, we've done a lot of online recently, especially during lockdown. But it's that customer for life. So yeah, we do work hard to get that customer, but if we look after them, they will look after us without a doubt. And it's the very foundation of what our business is built on, is people's relationships within. We talk about people business with the teams and Viva, but the people's business and my heart is actually the customers, because it's these relationships, these bonds that we've had for many years, and the new ones. I'm delighted that we're getting younger ones. I'm fed up with the older ones popping their wee cloggies. It's very heartbreaking. It's really heartbreaking. Oh, Mr. Robinson's my one that makes me cry. Old Mr. Robinson. But it's the relationships that we can build. So we work hard to get these. There's some phenomenal results. Mike, you're quite quiet, and he likes to show his wee picture. But Mike consistently does over £1,000 every single period, has for many months on Viva MK. If you can hear me and you want to speak, say, yay. Anything you want to add, Mike?
Well, no, as I said, it's a bit like Jeff was saying, that there's bad areas and good areas, but even the bad areas sometimes bear fruit. If you go back after a year or so and go again, there's new customers, and eventually you'll pick up things. As I say, the last time I went through a bad area, I've just picked up a new customer, and £96 order just out of the blue. So sort of never give up.
I knew there was a reason I spoke to you, Mikey. I knew, because that is what I was wanting to say as Jeff was doing his wee slot there, because yeah, that's a good way to put it. Even the bad areas bear fruit if we never give up. But Jeff's been flogging what seemed like a dead horse. It's now getting results. And with that wee spring in his step, you might start to get something for these terraced houses, Jeff.
That's right. 6 months' time, go back and try it again.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I totally agree with that. Well done. Right. Anybody want to say anything before we go?
Yeah. I was very encouraged last time when Fiona was telling about she's finding the results of blanket dropping 3 months down the line. So that really encouraged me, because I've been blanket dropping, and I'm looking for those results. But now I'm with this area that Janet's shown me. I'll finish off the areas that I'm working, which will be the third time round. Reduce down, as Jane said, just go to the customers. Then I'll concentrate on the area that Janet's found, and look to have a halfway decent customer base.
Well done, Jeff. You've cracked that nut, and that you've never give up. Persistent and persistent, never give up. So
I'd like to tell sort of Jeff as well something. The first time you go to a blanket drop, people don't know you. The second time you go to the blanket drop, they're saying, "Oh, is he going to be consistent? Is it someone that's going to come back?" The third time, yes, he is coming back. I may trust him.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That's absolutely right. That's absolutely right.
I was going to say, you say that, Mike, but I was going to say, first time round of blanket dropping, the amount of huge orders I got last month was incredible.
Yeah.
Absolutely incredible. The highest one, she hasn't actually given me the catalogue back yet. She's placed, not sure whether it's 4 or 5 orders with me, and it's over £200.
Wow.
Wow.
I've had 102, and she's just ordered again. I picked up on Monday from her again. There's another guy, he ordered £97.50. Well, I've just picked up another order from him for £57. Again, that was on Monday. And it is, like Kate said earlier, it's when the customers are actually younger than I am. And I kind of go to the door and I'm thinking, oh, that's not right. Where's your mum?
They're really young.
But yeah, I was going to say some of the ones I've been delivering to, I reckon, have been in their 20s.
Wow.
And I was going to say that is really nice to see, because my customer base has always been very elderly. I was going to say, so it's nice that the future generations are going to carry on actually ordering from catalogues. To me,
and that's exciting, because that is
really exciting.
EVMK customers, and we go back to ironically, because of the lockdown, I think, Mike, that's why these figures are just all over the place. Do you know what I mean? But you're absolutely right with what you say about customers waiting to see. But at the moment, they're springing up from everywhere, from the blanket drops, because some people don't want to shop. We've got such a great variety. I don't really want to analyze it. I don't want to get analysis paralysis, because all I know is it's working for us. It's absolutely phenomenal. And the whole team's doing absolutely amazing. So well done. Mary, you've been quiet. Mary does about half and half. Is there anything you want to say, just because I missed your wee pretty face?
No, you're all right, thanks. To get any young people buying from me. Mine's is all older. I wish I did have the mine's. It'd be great if I had young people, but no, I don't.
You still got the old
blanket dropping is just not working now, but I'll get there.
But you're still doing over 1,000.
Oh, I was happy with that last month.
Getting the results, and maybe that's something we could chat about on the next one, about when it isn't working for you. Because Mary's just said we're blanket dropping where she is. She's still got her old buddies. She's not getting all the young things.
Oh, absolutely.
But she still does over £1,000 every 4 weeks. So phenomenal. It's actually 10:20. I can't believe it. I was going to let you go off early because it's been such a positive Zoom. That we've actually went on a wee bit later. And I'm going to choose to close the meeting tonight, because I usually pick on somebody. Actually, no, I wouldn't. No, I'm going to close the meeting tonight, because it's not fair to pick on anybody. Next Wednesday, we'll have our usual webinar at 9 p.m. We're going to start talking next week about sponsoring. We spoke a lot about the online side of the business over the last 2 or 3 weeks with retail and sponsoring. We did a lot about the catalogue side of the business. What I will say, though, is that if you're here in the audience or your team, if there's anything you want us to do a training on, please ask. We will do one to suit. We want to know what you would like to know. I think Jane's training tonight on Train the Trainer, how to retail, was fantastic. Thanks for that, Jane. So next week, we'll be touching more on sponsoring, especially over the Christmas period, even though goodness knows we don't know what Christmas is going to be like. I do know that there's people out there that really are desperately looking for money. They're desperately looking for something they can do for home. Here's something just to finish with. My son just lost his job 2 weeks ago because of the lockdown. He's now going to get a job night shift in a warehouse. He'll be doing Viva, by the way. because now he's hearing the stories that Viva's working, he's getting excited again. But you know, it's close to home. People are losing their jobs. They need the money. We've got a valuable business, a great opportunity, and more importantly, a great team that keeps us going through lockdown. Can you imagine what this lockdown would have been like without you guys? I dread to think, because I'm actually starting to climb the wall. I'm getting withdrawals. I need to see yous. I need to see yous, guys. I don't know how we're going to do it, but we need to see each other. This is driving me crazy. But thank you so much. Brilliant Zoom tonight. And we'll see you on next Wednesday. Well done, everybody. And well done in getting that Platinum Premier. The next level, we're going for it. See you on next Wednesday.
See you guys.
Bye. Bye. Thanks, everybody. Well done, everybody.